Well, the off season is almost over because training camp is just around the corner, just about a week away till the Cowboys return to Oxnard. So let's talk about all those storylines going into training camp as the Cowboys search for that Super Bowl championship this year. And I'm joined by the co-host of the Locked On Cowboys podcast, Landon McCool. Landon, thanks for joining us tonight.
Bryce, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, first things first, let's talk about the most prevalent thing right now, and that's Tony Pollard, of course, going to be playing on the franchise tag this year. Kind of explain what that means for him this year and then especially going forward. I know he can't sign that contract extension. So what does that mean for the future of Tony Pollard?
It's very much up in the air. I think, maybe we should even take a step back. I think right now the running back market is in utter turmoil. It really feels like this is what market analysts would call a market correction for the running back room. And for Tony Pollard, it's like you see what's happening with all these other running backs signing deals and taking pay cuts. You're just hoping that you can come back healthy, have a good season, and then, take another bite at the apple next season when you hope that maybe the market has corrected itself a little bit or has at least made itself more presentable to someone like Tony Pollard to sign a long-term deal somewhere, whether it's with Dallas or not.
Absolutely. Well, one name you keep seeing kind of around the rumor mill, especially considering the running back market, like you just said, still in free agency, it's Ezekiel Elliott. Do you think there's any chance that he comes back to Dallas at some point during this year or in the future?
I don't want to rule it out in the future. I think it would be surprising if it happened this offseason. Would I like to have Zeke the player on a reasonable contract just as a guy that they could rotate in with Pollard? Sure, that makes a lot of sense. But what doesn't make sense is where he kind of fits in his game day roster. And that's why I think you're seeing a lot of these running backs right now, the free agent ones that are not getting a lot of hits right now is because most teams are going to see what they've got in their young rookie contract running backs.
Let's go from the offense to the defense. Man, if I'm an opposing quarterback, I do not want to face that Dallas defense. And it just seems like they keep getting better and better every single year. And one guy on the defense I'd like to talk about is ARP native in East Texas's own DeMarvion Overshown, the third-round pick. We saw him carve out a really big role at Texas during his time there. Will he be able to carve out another role starting his rookie year in Dallas? What do we see from him?
He's a fascinating player. And I think he's a very fascinating player specifically for the reasons that we just talked about, right? Quinn has done a really great job of morphing into a modern defense, and part of having a modern defense is having a kind of a positionless players, and I think Micah Parsons is obviously the one that we all point to because he's a superstar and he rushes the passer and he plays linebacker, but there's several of these guys on this team already, including Jaron Kearse, and I think Overshown is going to be the next great one of these guys, right? Like they clearly have a plan for him. They clearly specifically desired his skill set. I have the least idea of what his year one plan is going to be because I think we just got to go out to Oxnard and see what they're doing with them. But I know that just based on his skill set, his variety of things that he can do, his instincts, they're definitely going to find a role for him. And maybe it's just like, playing in certain packages that feature him. But I do think that no matter what, he's going to be a special teams ace. He's going to be a huge part of their special teams. And then I would not at all be surprised if he got a healthy dose of defensive snaps even early in his career.
And I know we're both excited for training camp because it means we're just that much closer to Cowboys football coming back, huh?
Absolutely. It's such a great time of year. The anticipation right now is just at its height. I love all the speculation and conversation, and it just gets you excited for that first day when they get on the field.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to it. Landon, again, thank you for your time. We're looking forward to training camp and seeing what goes on.
Thank you.